Lisi, 64 bars. Red Bull Studios. I'm interested to see where this beat's going.
Let me tell you about home. It's more than a place I'm from, more than a place where you think I belong, more than a hood that I rep in my songs. I come from Goodna, a little town unknown, sitting on the front line of Ipswich. And if you do your research, Goodna's a town the first to rep the 4-3 district, but don't get it twisted. It's not a place where drilling is normal when people be urging. We hold it down because we come from a place where people feel like they don't have purpose. I'm trying to change that.
I'm gonna just wheel that up real quick. Listen to what man's saying.
The town the first to rep the 4-3 district, but don't get it twisted. It's not a place where drilling is normal when people be urging. We hold it down because we come from a place where people feel like they don't have purpose.
Man said our town's not just about fucking running round and gang shit and violence. Like, I'm repping my place because we come from a place of struggle. We come from a place where people feel like they're not worth something. So I like Lisi, man. He doesn't just coming off the back of my previous reaction, he's not saying shit for a generic sake. Like, he's telling his story.
I'm trying to change that, reframe that mindset that we won't excel. Society will always hate, and it will spread shit just like Microsoft Excel. But still we prevail and produce individuals that's and it will spread. I'm trying to change that, reframe that mindset that we won't excel. Society will always hate, and it will spread shit just like Microsoft Excel. But
he rhymed Excel with Excel, and I know it's Excel in two different ways. Obviously, Microsoft Excel, which is the one with all the boxes and the shit like that, and then Excel is to, how would you define Excel? Is to like move on a level above what something is. I don't know. So he's used the word Excel in two different contexts, but I don't like the fact that he rhymed the same word without it being in a multi.
mindset that we won't excel. Society will
Mine we don't. Microsoft no.
always hate, and it will spread shit just like Microsoft Excel. But still we prevail and produce individuals that's climbing the ranks. No matter on a mic, on a field, in a cage, we put up the 4-3 that always give thanks. Cause it's the place that made us, raised us, saved us. 4-3 down to the bone. Tell them what I'm talking about when I rip it loud. This is more than a place called home. 4-3's
this is more. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Tell them what I'm talking about when I rip it loud. This is more than a place called home. 4-3's a lifestyle. And that's something they have to know. It's not just a subway but I reside. It's the heart I carry everywhere I go. So they have to know that it's more than a place I'm from. It's embedded in my blood and I'm always gonna hold it down to the day that my lifetime's done. I told them I got this. As a young brown man coming up in the world is tough. They recognize me, they put me in a...
I like how Lisi always references tracks that he's already put out. I like the fact that he does that. It kind of just cements his music from a branding perspective as well. It's kind of making his own catchphrases. Hooligan Hefs is someone who's also great at doing that as well.
I told him I got this. As a young brown man coming up in the world is tough. They recognize me, they put me in a factory and expect me to think that's enough. Or tell them get stuffed. I'll be on the rush till I say it's
You could tell this brother's hungry, man. A different mentality.
enough. I come from a town where there's no good luck. We always work hard and we never give up. Even when we feel like that we don't have much. And that's facts. That's why I stand for my community. Always making the most of opportunities. For a greater purpose than you and me. Because it's all for the place I'm from. No jumper on but I raise my hood up. It doesn't matter where I be. I'll always be that young kid.
I only just clocked that bar. No jumper on, but I always raise my hood up. Like, I don't have to wear a jumper for me to try and uplift the hood. So the hood referencing where he's from. Yeah,
For the
yeah, I like
place I'm
that.
from. No, always making the most of opportunities. For a greater purpose than you and me. Because it's all for the place I'm from. No jumper on but I raise my hood up. It doesn't matter where I be. I'll always be that young kid coming straight out of good. Nah man, this place is where my people live and die, brother. I could never lie. We're all different on this side. But they never knew that. This
I like that. You know what? It's difficult to go from rapping to singing back to rapping in a live take. Like, obviously it's easy enough to do pre-recording and it sounds sick, but to do that in a live take, especially at the speed that Lisi's doing that with no cut in between, he didn't have much of a break there in between. That was difficult. I was just about to say he sounds quite cagey and almost nervous when doing those vocals there. And I was just about to dig that out, but then I realized he was going back to rapping straight away, and that's the reason why. It's kind of that anticipation of switching it. You know what? That was actually more difficult to do than some people may think. Straight in, but like he had one breath straight in.
place is a place where mates soon turn into brothers. This my home, G-Town, I'ma hold it down for that west side 4300. They can talk about running the ball, but who's actually out there running? I give props to our boys, Thomas, Mikaele and Philip Sammy. And if they wanna throw down with us, who out there wants the beef with those souls? They don't know about them 4-3 hands like Ezra James and Bolo Alcuso. See, that's 4-3 excellence. My town stay down, stay proud, that's why we represent. And my people stay messaging, they love how I hold it down, no questioning. I'ma stay down for my home, even if this is a place where struggle's known, I'ma let them know. That we're gonna roll through ripping that 4-3-0-0, cause it's G-O-O-D-N-A, good numb, and it runs in my DNA. We never had much, but still we grind until the day comes when we see that pay. And I never ever sit back, pulled on for my town when I did that. And now I think about the kids, how they're coming up, and all I wanna do is give back. See, they know me as Lisi, but I guarantee I never did this all on my own. I owe it to the people who surrounded me, and the place we lived in that always kept us close. So listen when I say, where we're from, it's not much, but let it be known. 4-3-0-0, I told you my also it's more than a place called home.
I love how Lisi managed to stay on topic the whole freestyle there. Like, I know it's like a 2.5 minute freestyle, but he really kept on topic and kept so focused in on that. I don't come from a place that has much, but this is what I've grown up, all I know, and it's what made me, so I just want to give back. Like, literally, if for someone who hasn't heard this freestyle, I could sum it up in that sentence right there. And Lisi did a great job of keeping that on task there. And that beat's cold as well. I'm going to just check who produced that right now. It doesn't say who produced it, but whoever it is, honestly, great sample choice. And yeah, did a really good job with not making the instrumental the standout point, but it's subtle enough to let Lisi do what he does whilst also sounding sick. And I feel like that's important, because if Lisi went with this big sounding instrumental, I feel like it may have taken away from what he's saying. The fact that the instrumental was quite simple and the sample was just there to add a bit of texture, I feel like it allows you to really focus in on what Lisi is saying. And again, I'll emphasize this, he gets his message across so well, so clearly, just straight to the point. And although he says it in a relatively simple manner that's easy to understand, there are layers to a lot of the things that he's saying. Meaning that if you are not even a fan of rap, say you're someone from the area, and it's like, oh, this brother Lisi who's like lives on my road is doing music, you know, like 50-year-old auntie can listen to this and be like, oh my god, he's shouting out the area, that's amazing. But then someone like us who's rap heads that understand fucking lyrics and shit, we have more to digest. It's kind of how like Disney movies work in some ways, you know. Obviously they're kids films, and from someone who has a young mindset that doesn't understand life that much, you know, it's great to watch that film. But then as an adult, there can sometimes be things that have deeper meanings, or even adult jokes that you understand in a different level. Now, I'm not saying that Lisi has written this like a Disney film, like, no. But what I mean to take from that is that he has something for people who may not necessarily be rap heads, and someone that just wants to understand it in a basic and simple way. And he also has something for the more complex minds, even though he says it in a simple manner. And simple isn't a bad thing. I think simple and effective is better than being overcomplicated and it going over people's heads to a certain extent. Lisi is gaining such a fast following, and not only in his own area, I'm just noticing across Australia, he is gaining a heavy following because he represents his area, but he has this level of being humble about it. He has this aura around him of just being so truthful. And maybe that's down to the whole, look, I'm not out here trying to shank man up, but we'll hold our own. I don't know. For me, I really like that angle that he's playing. And especially the fact that he's trying to be one of the oldest in his area without trying to corrupt some of the younger minds there. And he's doing that in a way that doesn't shy away from what his area's really like. Like, he's saying to the young people, like, let's make something of yourself. I understand you're not from a middle-class family in a beautiful suburbs in wherever. Like, I understand where we're from, but we can still make something of ourselves. Don't let the poverty in our area or the troubles in our area cloud or box us into what we're capable of doing. That's the reason why I respect this freestyle, and it's why I enjoy this more than some other tracks, because it actually has a fucking meaning behind it. And if this freestyle can mean something to me, who isn't even from Australia, let alone the 4-3-0-0, then imagine how much this means to someone from his area. But either way, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Feel free to check out my track with Shook. It is going to be on her, well, it's out now, but it's going to be on her album in just over a week's time, under a week's time now, alive again. Links down in the description. And thank you for all the love and support on the On a Level podcast with Enemy recently. That means a lot as well. And Lisi is someone I'd definitely like to have on the podcast. So Lisi, if you're watching this video, I'd love to have you on, my guy. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you, man, later.